The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. George Bernard Shaw.
Hi, my name is Violet Njeki, and today I get to break down to you the circular economy. Did you know that Kenya runs on the linear economy? But when I talk about the linear economy, what comes to mind? Like, what is linear economy? Let me break it down to you just kitoko, small notch. Well, in this concept, we have the take, make, and dispose approach that we often use in our daily lives. Let's give an example of a daily commodity, bread. So for the take approach, you see how farmers plant wheat, and then they get to harvest it and take to millers, and they get the byproducts, the flour, the grains, and all. So this flour, we use it to make bread. The bread comes in different tastes, the brown bread, white bread, whatever option that you go for. So when this bread is made, it's distributed to supermarkets, to shops, you go and get to buy it. And once you buy it, you take it home and you eat it. Now, after you get it home, that is the take part. Now, the make part is when you get to the house and you want to use the bread that you've bought. Maybe when you're making sandwiches, you're making toast, whatever you want to make so that you can have it. Now, that is the make part. But remember, bread is packed in plastics. The plastic part that comes in the bread. Now that is the dispose approach, because once you've had your breakfast or you've had your product, the bread, you get rid of the plastic. Now that is where the dispose approach comes in. So you have the take, where is the planting, the harvesting, the milling, and then the making of the bread. The make approach is the buying and having it. And now the dispose approach is getting rid of the plastic. But this economy has its limitation. One, the raw materials, especially natural resources, are getting lesser every day. We're facing drought at the moment, and it's because we've cut down a lot of our trees. So with that, we've limited the natural resources maybe even more than half. So the natural resources that we have, even by mining, we are getting rid of the natural resources that we have. And with this getting less, the waste made from the consumption is constantly increasing. From plastics to, you see how the product that do not decompose, now that is the constant consumption that we are increasing by letting it all over, like when you just walk in town and you just see papers, bottles, and everything that cannot be consumed by the soil. So it's increasing by the day. But according to NEMA, in their National Solid Waste Management Strategy published in the year 2014, an estimated 2,400 tons. 2,400 tons. Do you know how much that is of solid waste is generated every single day? And 20% of that is in plastic form. So me, you, and everybody around us, when you drink that water and you dispose of the plastic, you're increasing the percent that we have, the 20%, the 2,400 tons of public waste, of solid waste that we continue to generate every single day. But with the circular economy, now this is where the good part comes in, which is the main conversation of today's episode, is about eliminating the take, make, and dispose concept and ensure that whatever waste we produce is restored through recycling and upcycling. I know you're wondering the recycling and upcycling, how they're coming together when it comes to business, but trust me, you'll understand. And what benefits do we get to reap from the economic system as well? One, we are eliminating the use of toxic materials, of the toxic chemicals. We get to shift our focus towards the use of renewable energy, like when it comes to solar. The solar system uses the sun. So basically, we are using renewable energy. We get to regenerate natural systems and resources, and money is generated from these waste products. So in today's episode, we meet with Duncan, and Duncan is an artist that makes art out of cycling waste cardboard boxes. You see how you throw your boxes outside your house, or even how supermarkets, when they buy the goods in bulk and then they get rid of the carton boxes, now Duncan goes for that to make his living. This is interesting, trust me. And with these products, he's able to make a living on what we consider with these products, like, this is just carton, just throw it away. But for him, minefield. Now let's get to see how this happens. Hi and welcome to another episode of The Grind. My name is Violet Njeki, and today I went down to Kasarani and I'm going to learn about a new kind of art. I've not heard of this kind of art before. I've seen people do it, but I don't know how it's done. I don't even know how it's called. And so today I'm here to learn, how do you create business out of corrugated art? Before I even tell you that is actually the name, it is actually the name, I'm going to let him introduce himself so that he can tell us exactly what he does and what his type of art lies. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
My name is Duncan. Duncan Shea. I'm an artist, but I mostly consider myself as a creative entrepreneur because I'm into this to make money.
Creative entrepreneur, not that point. Creative entrepreneur,
Yes, so I am a creative entrepreneur. I'm currently the founder and the only one doing this kind of art.
Wow, okay, that's impressive.
Yeah, so basically that's all it entails. I use waste cardboard to make art. So I go fetch the cardboards, which would have rather been used to probably been disposed. So I use them to make art. I recycle waste cardboards to make art.
And what there's different kind of art. So there's fine art, there's the string art. Does this art have a name?
Not really. So I had to come up with a name. So I call it corrugated. Corrugated artworks.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so now we talk about the creative entrepreneur that you are.
Yes.
Recycling. Before we even get into the details, why did you decide that recycling is the way to go for me to create business for myself?
I'm so passionate about the environment, so I decided to go the recycling way. When I started, I lived in a highly populated area with kids.
Yes.
And it was near a supermarket, so after supply, there were lots of cardboard, and it would have taken a couple of days so that they could have been taken away. So I took the opportunity, having lots of kids and having plenty of cardboards, and I looked for business opportunity to take out of it.
So when you started, you said that because of the love of recycling and of the environment, you went and took the boxes and recycled them. But how was the financial startup? Like, did you just go and buy from the supermarket, or just mnatumia hizi ama naweza chukua?
So it was an interesting journey. I'm a chef by profession.
Wow.
So after school I was employed. Immediately after school I was employed, but during my employment period, it was in 2020, boom, Corona came. Then retrenchment, then I was retrenched. Currently I was working in Nyeri, so I had to come back home. So I came back to Nairobi. I had nothing to do at first, so I had to take that opportunity. And being environmental cautious, learning something a little bit, that's when circular economy was coming up. So I was like, let me do something about the environment and make probably a cleaner environment for the future kids.
So you just went and bought the carton from the supermarket, or you used to take them?
Not really. At first it was free. Because they were supposed to be waste. So the waste collectors just came, take them away. So I took them a couple of times. But after a while, someone saw cardboard zimekuwa hapa, they are going somewhere. So we need to find out. So after a while, I approached them and told them what I do. In return, they used to I used to pay a minimal fee, just a small fee for the cardboard.
Wow. So even with that concept, that is what we are creating here today. We are creating something today. What are we creating?
So today we're doing a zebra. So this is a new piece. I'm starting a collection actually of wild animals. So basically I'll be doing a zebra. It comes on a size of A2. It's an A2 piece. So this is what we're going to do today.
Oh, okay. So how do we start? What is the process that we're going with?
At first, it's always a tedious process at the beginning because you have to create a template.
Yes.
So my process is you go look for a very good image. That's the first process.
Yes.
But even after getting a good image, I have to play with it in a way that it will appear on the cardboard the same way a real animal is.
Okay, yes.
So I'll get an image, yes, but I'll have to manipulate it in a way that it will appear like the same animal on a piece of cardboard.
Yes.
So the first piece is get an image. I'm an artist, so I draw it. I draw it on paper. So I'll always call this a template. So this is always the basic step of creating a piece of art on cardboard. You just have to have a template.
Yes.
So we have a ready-made template. So the second piece is again the most tedious part because you have to transfer the template onto a piece of cardboard.
Yes, so that you can know the positioning and all.
The positioning and everything, and probably the sizing.
Yes.
So basically, you'll just have to fix the piece of the template on the piece of cardboard. So I'll just show you how it's done.
So even as we fix this one,
Yes.
when a client maybe needs a piece of art,
Yes.
what is the process that they have to go through so that you can make the art for them?
It's not a tedious process, but I really do require a quality picture, a quality image. So the first process is probably contact me. Send me a very good image. Currently, I'm doing 3 sizes of images. I'm doing a face shot. That's just your face alone. That's on an A4 piece. Then the next shot is a chest shot, just like this one. It comes on a A3 piece. Then the last shot is the full shot, which comes on a A2 piece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So whenever a customer approaches, send me the picture. I evaluate the picture. If it's of a good quality, yes. Which size, probably they decide.
Yeah.
We agree on the price, pay the deposit, and I'll do the work. And after the work, during the, what's it called?
Now you
Delivery.
The delivery now.
You finish up
okay.
the.
So I see you've placed our art for today. What's
Yes,
our
I
next
have.
step after that?
So the next step is again the most tedious part. But being an artist, you don't have to do all this.
Yeah.
So I'll just have to probably, this piece of art, I'll just have to transfer it using a pin. So I use such a pin. So I'll do like specific number of dots. So after piercing, they'll appear on the cardboard.
Yeah.
So I'll just do like a given number, not all of them. So this is just a guide for me to at least know where the positioning of the ear will be, the eye will be, probably the mouth part, and the last part. So this is again a tedious process,
Yes.
because if it's a complicated piece of art, you'll have to do like you'll have to pierce almost
All
the
through
lines,
it, yeah.
all through it, yes.
Wow.
So for a first piece of art, it's always tedious because you'll have to pierce all of it.
Yes.
But for a second piece, you'll have known the size of the piece, you'll have known probably how to draw it on cardboard. So the second piece and the rest of the pieces won't be that hard and that tedious. So the
Yeah.
first piece is always.
It's always the hardest. And how long does it take you to create maybe a piece? Now maybe like this one for the zebra.
So it depends. For the first piece of art, it takes approximately 5-6 hours.
6 hours.
Depending on the piece of art. Because if it's a very complicated piece of art, it can take probably days.
Days.
Just for a single, to create the first template. But after the first template, to create a single piece of art can take like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yes. So the most tedious part is just to create the first template of the art. Yes. Because this template, I can just photocopy it anytime, and whenever I want to create another piece of art, I'll just use the same template.
So you have this kind of art that you're making here today, but you also have like these ones.
Yes.
What is it? How do you create these ones?
These ones, these are 3D image. I do try my best to. This is a replica. I do try my best for the piece to become a complete replica of the original piece. Yeah. So that's usually my biggest motivation.
So this is like somehow a replica. Can you say it's the actual
Now
measurements?
this is a bigger piece of the Pilsner can.
Okay.
But from the original piece, I just have to probably, if it's 10 by 10 piece and I want to make a bigger piece, I'll multiply it by 2 or 1.5 depending on the size of the art I want to make.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
So even with all that, when you are creating now like the zebra that we are creating here
Yes.
today, is there anything else that you need apart from the cardboards? Is there anything else that you need now when it comes to color and all?
Yes. So mostly I use spray paint. That's to paint my pieces of art. That's I see it as kind of helpful in a way, because I won't be needing probably to make the piece what's it called waterproof, so as to use other pieces or other paints. So the spray paint, I just paint them. Another piece I use mostly is white glue or just hot glue. This is to fix cardboard on cardboard. So for slimmer pieces of art, I'll use wood glue. But for a large piece of art I'll use hot glue.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay,
so it's just some basic requirements.
Necessities. Oh, so even as we continue to create this zebra, which by the way we'll see the end result after all of it is done. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to learn about the competition that he faces in this industry with this art that he calls corrugated art. You're going to be right back.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Mimi niko digital sasa. Nimepiga simu nikauza ng'ombe, sasa naweza lipia mtoto karo ya shule. Huyu.
Despite being visually impaired, he is a jack of all trades. It is our quest to find answers on how to take care of children with special needs and those with disability. You do not need to see musical notes to understand music, but rather to have your soul feel the vibe.
Actually, for us to make a wheelchair, we have to take measurements of the user.
After doing my assessment, I get to know the parent, I get to know the heaviness she's carrying.
Disability comes at different stages of life.
How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga,
and music.
Despite being visually impaired, he is a jack of all trades. It is our quest to find answers on how to take care of children with special needs and those with disability. You do not need to see musical notes to understand music, but rather to have
the home of untold stories.
Hi and welcome back to The Grind for those who missed the first part. My name is Violet and today I'm joined by Duncan. He told me his kind of art, he named it himself. It's called corrugated art. He's making art out of cardboard. He's saving the environment by recycling. It's a circular economy, as you call it. Yeah, so he's saving the environment but also making money out of it. So we were talking about the art that you make. But before we talk about the competition and all, are there types that you actually focus on? Like you say, I only make toys, I only make animal art and portraits.
So as you called it, it's recycling. But when you go deeper into circular economy, it's called upcycling.
Upcycling?
Yeah, upcycling. So upcycling is a way of converting waste into a more, what can I call it? It's a more valuable product than it was.
Yes.
So this was just a piece of cardboard to transport goods.
Yeah.
But right now it's a piece of art.
Yes.
So its value has increased.
Yes.
So it's called upcycling rather than recycling.
Yes. Upcycling. Don't say recycling, upcycling.
So I focus on 5 pieces of art. The first one being corrugated images. These are images of people who send their pictures and I convert them into art. The second piece is advertisement and branding. This is an upcoming piece of art I want to measure into so much. So it's just creating a replica of a product. Let's say you're doing a given product. I create a replica of the same product for advertisement purposes. The third piece of art, I'm doing home art. So home art include the 3D pieces of art and the normal pieces of art.
Yes.
These included, this piece of home art. And the 3D piece of art is like, I don't know if you'll be able to get it.
Oh, this
it's
one.
It's a deer head.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so that's a 3D piece of art, still under home art. The other piece of art is school art. So school art, I've currently done a microscope. This is just for learning purposes.
Microscope. Yes.
It's not a working piece of microscope. Maybe in the near future I'll do that. But currently it's just for working for learning purposes.
Yes.
It's got all the pieces of all the pieces a microscope have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
everything. Wow, this is interesting.
So the last piece of art I make is toys for kids, which includes which is my first piece of art, a toy gun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So currently I'm planning to do bigger toys,
Yes.
including vehicles. So for the vehicles, I'm planning to do probably on the upper part paper mache and do some coloring. If possible, the toy cars I'm currently making, they'll be remote controlled.
Wow, okay, that's impressive. That's seeing ahead. Yeah.
So maybe in a couple of weeks' time it will be ready. This is just a prototype working piece of art. So in a couple of weeks' time.
Oh, okay. So even as we continue to create our zebra for today, this kind of art, you are maybe one of the few people who deals with this kind of art. How is the competition?
This is a unique kind of art. So currently my competition is in printed pieces of art and canvas. So for printed pieces of art, they are cheap. So that's my biggest competition. My other competition is canvas, which is competing, let's say, competitively with it. One of the biggest challenge I have is convincing someone such a piece of art is as valuable as a canvas piece of art. It will last as long as a printed piece of art.
Yes.
So competition, yes, there is, but convincing someone your piece is better than the other piece is my biggest challenge.
Oh, no, that's the biggest challenge.
Yes. So actually, addressing the challenge, the piece lasts as long as any other piece of art. So currently I'm doing framing.
Yes.
So whenever the piece is framed, taken care of as just a printed piece of art, it will last as long as that same piece.
And do you face challenges when it comes to getting the requirements that you need to create these pieces?
Currently not really, because I'm doing it all by hand. Maybe using the precision knife. This precision knife probably is one of the most expensive pieces of
the tools
I'm using to make art. Currently they are quite expensive in the market because it's not flooded in the market. There are very few in the market, so I'll say that's one of the most expensive tools I'm using currently. But generally, fetching the cardboards, having the technique to make the cardboard spray paint, it's quite I'll say affordable for a normal customer.
Okay. So now that you've mentioned about your customers, what is the pricing of these arts that you have, and how do you differentiate that this will be this price and this will be this price?
I mostly do 3 sizes, A4, A3 and A2. So for a normal A4 piece, it goes for 1,000 bob. 1,000 bob, depending on the piece. Some come with framing, some with no framing.
Yes.
For images, I prefer someone doing framing on their own because people have their own designs of framing.
Yes, and they want to go with. Yes,
they want to go with. So I do prefer someone just pays. I do the piece of art, and if you want a frame, I have someone maybe to refer you to. Maybe go look for someone. Do a piece, a good piece of frame. So currently, I'm not doing framing. So for the A4 piece go for 1,000 bob. A3 piece goes for 1,800 bob. The bigger piece, which is A2, goes for 2,400.
No, quite affordable if I may say.
And the pre-made piece, like this one, I'm making them for this is an A2 size. It goes for 1,500.
Wow, 1,500. So when it comes to the marketing, how do you put yourself out there so that people can know that Duncan creates this kind of art?
I'm mostly on social media. I market so much on social media. So on all social media handles, it's just corrugated artworks from Twitter to TikTok to Instagram and Facebook. Yes. So mostly Instagram for the images. Mostly on Instagram, corrugated underscore artworks.
So I see that some of your pieces are focusing on known names in the industry. Boniface Mwangi, I've seen Wajaka over there. Does this also help you when it comes to marketing purposes?
Yes, it does. I'll say Boniface Mwangi. I did this piece, I guess it was last year. I met with him, so he posted it actually. He helped me get a couple of clients.
Wow, okay.
So using at least some known names, these people accepting your piece of art, it shows the public and the consumers of art that this kind of art is acceptable in the market.
Yes.
So that's actually one of the reasons I'm making pieces on known people, so that they can, at least after they accept my art, the public will at least also accept this kind of art.
And being in business, you didn't even tell me how long you've done the art business, from 2020?
2020.
Up until now?
Until now. So being in business, I was in business starting 2020, approximately May. I did it the whole of 2020. But being a completely new type of art, and currently I was doing the toy guns, I didn't have that wide market range.
Yes.
So I held back kidogo, went back to employment. So I was employed again in 2021. But I was so much into my passion that I decided to, like, as I am in employment, let me still research what else I can do with these cardboards to get a wide market. And after a while in employment, and I came back to art. That was last year, August, until now I've been doing this full time.
Passion called you back.
Yeah, passion called me back.
So being in business for the time that you've been, what has it taught you as an entrepreneur when it comes to even the upcycling, the circular economy, and even an entrepreneur?
So as for me, I've learned so much when it comes to protecting the environment from waste. That's one thing. Another thing, artists, and when it comes to your own business, you learn as time goes by. Let's say for the cardboard toy, the cardboard gun, I've made even a complicated piece of the same cardboard gun. But because it's a learning process, slowly by slowly, each and every time I create a new piece of art, I learn something new. So it has been a process by process, step by step, and learning from myself, learning probably from YouTube and other kinds of art. So it has been a process.
And what advice would you have for someone who wants to start a different kind? Considering yours is different, like not a lot of people know it. What advice do you have for someone who has that unique business idea, but they don't want to put it up because they're like, okay, how will people take it?
Man, just go for it. Nothing else. Just go for it. If it's your passion, probably if it's your talent, just give it your all. When I started, actually, it wasn't that embraced in the community. People were like, okay, this is cardboard. They were like reluctant to accept it. But if you have passion for it, just go for it, push it until you'll make it. Yes, just go for it. That's my advice.
Go for it.
Yeah, go
so
for it.
If someone wants to buy your art or needs to get in contact with you, how will they do that?
On social media. All my contacts are just on social media. Mostly Instagram. Just do Instagram, corrugated underscore artworks, inbox me. Every details will be provided, and you'll get a piece of art. Sure.
Thank you so much, Duncan, for your insights on corrugated art, which is actually a very unique kind of art. And also, circular economy, helping the environment. He's upcycling. He's told me not recycling. He's upcycling.
And actually, I'm looking on a way to upcycle more plastics. So I'm heading to from cardboard, I'm heading to plastics. So it's just all about recycling, all about circular economy.
Wow. Upcycling is his business. What is your business? Well, that is all we had for you here today on The Grind. And remember, talk to us on 22047 and tell us which business do you want us to feature next. Do you want us to come to your business? Talk to us directly, or even talk to me directly on Violet Njoki on all social media platforms, TV47KE on all our social media platforms. Until next week, when you go to another business, another entrepreneur, remember to upcycle. See you then.
Nimesema toka.
Tonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka